Good morning, Austin, and welcome to the Atheist Experience. This is May 17th. We are live. We'll be taking your phone calls here in a little bit. We'll be talking a wide variety of topics here. Like I say, my name is Ray Blevins. My co-host, Joyce Zamecki, and this week's co-host is Keith Berka. And we're trying to show the different members in our group. We have a wide variety of people. And so, welcome to the show, Keith.
Yeah.
And we usually start off with a few announcements from the Atheist Community of Austin. And why don't you go ahead, Joe?
Okay, we're having a blood drive. This is going to be June 20th, Saturday, June 20th, and it's going to be at the Central Texas Regional Blood Center. That's at 4300 North Lamar, and they're open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's just going to be some atheists in our group going down there to give blood. We try to do this about once every quarter, and it's the thing to do. It's a good idea.
Excellent.
Okay, and we're going to talk about our lecture series now?
Our lecture series, monthly lecture series, this month is May 31st at Furr's Restaurant there, North Cross Mall, is where that's at, and that's Roland Weiner is what his name is. He'll be talking about alternative medicine and the quackery that's actually going on. They're actually teaching things like massaging people's auras and things like that in medical school. And so it should be quite entertaining. I'm looking forward to that. You want to continue on down with our...
Let's see. We have our weekly meetings. We meet every Sunday morning right after our show, about 10 or 10:30 in the morning, at the Hot Jumbo Bagel, which is at 307 West 5th Street, West 5th and Lavaca, I believe.
All right.
And it's pretty casual. It's great place for non-theists to go and talk and chat and share and eat bagels and drink coffee and tell jokes and laugh. We're a lot of social people hang out there, and it's a lot of...
to our ears.
Exactly.
Thanks, Arlo.
Okay.
Speaking of social things, we had our party last night. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it, but we would like to thank Michelle for having everybody over to her house there for the party there. I understand it was quite entertaining. We had a great time there and all that. And Joe made it, so we'll let Joe give it.
Well, Keith also.
Keith made it also to the party. So we'll give a few highlights of the party there.
It was a good viewing party. What we like to do once in a while is sit around and socialize and watch a funny movie that may be a little bit satirical and a little bit blasphemous. This time, the movie was The Meaning of Life by Monty Python, and it was a lot of fun.
A lot of people there. Packed into a home, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was great.
But it's Monty Python's Meaning of Life there. It definitely gives you points to think about there. And
Our first one was Life of Brian, which is one of our favorite movies.
Yes, we'll be doing that. We're doing annual Life of Brian.
Annual? Okay, it's an annual event.
Yes, we'll be doing that again. And, so I guess at this. Just want to remind everybody that it is May 17th. That is our number there, 472-2255. If you want to call and talk to an atheist, if you never talked to an atheist before. Mm-hmm. And we'll be one of the things we like to do here is give news articles that are in the weekly paper. And this week, we had a really good article here about atheist takes concern to the White House staff. The Clinton administration hosted what is believed to be the first formal White House meeting between an organized atheist group and representatives of the president this month. Ron Barrier, spokesman for the American Atheists, an Austin-based group, called the meeting very positive. First step toward informing the White House about what his organization say are civil rights violations against non-believers. Barrier said it was the first time members of this organization had met with the White House officials. And I'm really glad to see that they're up there. It's rather long. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but they also made it known our feelings about RFA, so we would like to thank American Atheists for getting in there, representing us all. We are Atheist Community of Austin, but we like working with other atheists and everything else. So we do. Ellen Johnson, right? Is her name?
Yes, the president.
The president was right there, and the whole group, I think, put a good face to atheists in general there.
Right. We contrast a lot with the Bush administration and George Bush, who said the atheists weren't weren't to be considered citizens of America. So
yes, so we do thank Clinton for keeping an open mind there. Yes.
Yeah, that was unprecedented. Actually, that hasn't ever happened.
Yes, that's what the article pointed out there. Yes. The other article I brought in this morning, which I thought was real interesting, these all come. Both these come from Austin American Statesman. So this is the title of it. This was in this week. I forgot exactly what day it was, but apes provide clues into the human mind, and this would be a great topic for today's show here, because we definitely believe in the theory of evolution. So
we have Arlo for that.
Yes, we're now getting sound effects from the floor here. Yes, but anyway, here we go. Scientists focus on evolution of mental traits by studying our nearest ancestors. Bill Hopkins put 10 different species of monkeys and apes into an MRI scanner and came to a starting conclusion. Apes share a brain feature thought to make humans unique. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure where he was going with that one.
Water.
Fellow scientist Franz de Waal sees roots of condemnation in Banaboo named Kerouet, who spotted zookeepers turning on water valves and realized that they would flood a nearby moat where infant apes were playing. Kerouet warned the zookeeper and helped rescue the babies. I think that's really interesting that the ape could actually put that all together there and then still be able to communicate to the zookeeper that that his relatives were in danger.
Right.
The nation's largest primate research center is bringing together neuroscientists, genetics, and behavior experts to shed new light on human evolution, using our closest relatives, the apes, to explain how human cognition and behavior involve. Cognition.
Cognition.
Cognition. I don't know why I practiced that word and everything else for you. Sorry about that. By understanding chimps, maybe we'll understand ourselves a wee bit better, explained Tom Ansel, chief of Yerkes Regional Primate Center, which is setting up the Living Links Project on human evolution. Scientists once largely excluded research on mental traits from the study of evolution, instead emphasizing on fossils that showed how human anatomy developed over millions of years. But now so-called evolutionary psychology is hot. If early work is any indication, human mental traits may not be so unique. Tom Hopkins' findings that apes are left brain like humans, or de Waal's experiments that suggest that certain primates developed frameworks for morality. It is a controversial field, but one that should help generate new insight into why the mind was organized the way it was, says Mark Hauser, whose researches evolutionary neurobiology at Harvard University. This is a well-respected scientist here saying something we said, I think, down here, that morality is an evolutionary trait that can be passed on down the line. We do want to get to our caller. We do have some callers here on the line, and we'll get back to that. And I think, Don?
Yes.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Excellent. How about yourself?
Doing fine. I want to say this may sound disparaging, but I was listening to your little deal about the apes.
Right.
And that's the best argument that I've heard. The fact that you claim to be descendants of apes.
Right.
And why a person wouldn't want to be an atheist. I mean, if all you're going to evolve, what you evolved from, and is an ape.
I'd rather carry the history and everything else that the apes rather than carry the history and the bigotry and everything else that the Christian baggage brings along with it.
Well, that's another strong reason that a person shouldn't be an atheist. I mean, if they'd rather have the history of an ape than a history of a human being, that's saying something about.
Are you telling me you're proud of the 2,000 years of bigotry and exclusion and slavery and how they put down women, so it made them feel like second-class citizens and everything else? I'd much rather take the scientific point of view and feel that the humans evolved to the state that we are at.
Well, if you say humans evolved from apes, you still carry the same history. It's not going to change the history of the humans because you came from an ape.
We share a common ancestor, but we don't literally descend from apes like that. It's a little more complicated than that.
You have to remember we evolved from apes. We're not apes.
Yeah, we're quite different.
We're evolved from apes.
Yeah, and as Joe pointed out, that is we're misstating the evolutionary. We have a common ancestor. We didn't actually come from the actual apes.
Okay, if we didn't come from the apes, where did we come from?
It's a whole lot more complicated than that. Evolution, though.
On that issue?
What'd you say, sir?
Would you like to debate me on that issue? I can understand you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, we got a couple minutes here, and I'd like.
Now, I don't mean right now.
Oh.
Well, we're not scientists, but we defer to science instead of religion when it comes to this question between evolution and creationism, and obviously they can't be compatible. But
and obviously these are well-respected scientists from Harvard and everywhere else that are realizing how much of what we consider characteristic traits are actually coming through us through an evolutionary process. That there, I think, is amazing. And,
well, we're primates as well as apes and other primates like that, monkeys, chimpanzees, orangutans, and we share certain things, and they're finding now that not only are other primates intelligent to a certain degree, more intelligent than we thought, but they also have family values. They're very family-oriented.
Family values. Name me a couple, please.
Well, for instance, this example of where the ape saw that there was an imminent danger to one of its own, it used its intelligence to try to stop that danger, and it successfully did, and it showed not only that it was intelligent enough to put that together in its mind, but that it also felt strongly enough for that member of its own family to go ahead and do that. That is a family value that we would consider to be very like what humans experience.
But most animals are like that, and there are some humans that are not. I mean, that's why people abort their babies. You can say the same thing about a kangaroo, but you're not claiming to be a descendant of a kangaroo.
They're marsupials. They're different from primates.
Now, I was talking about the value you just mentioned. You said one of them is that they protect their own from danger. Well, that's not an exclusive value of you may as well say that that's the only reason you've got, that you came from a giraffe.
No.
I think that what it does is it contradicts the argument that humans are the only animals with morals or family values like that.
Now, you're mixing two words, morals and values. They're not the same thing.
Well, it depends on how you define them, but as far as
you don't even
emotion...
claim to have morals. I mean, everything morals is legislated by the Bible, and you people are absent of morals. I mean,
So we do have ethics. There's a difference.
You're just the opposite of every moral.
Okay, we have ethics, which are morals without the religion.
And no, there's no such thing.
Well, we disagree with you.
You may have ethics, but you don't have morals at all.
That's what we said. We have ethics, but we don't have morals.
We don't have the religion.
What the devil has is ethics.
We're not worried about the devil then. Yeah, thanks for the entertainment.
He cheats and he steals and he does all those things because he can't deal with morals.
Ethical people don't steal.
Are you saying that we do all that? We're not thieves. We're not murderers. We're not Satanists. We don't believe in the devil either.
We're organizing a blood drive every quarter. Is there anything immoral about that?
Is there anything moral about that?
Sure.
I tell you, morals is legislated by God. God never told a person to be moral and go out and give.
Well, it's not moral, but it's ethical.
I would like to debate you guys. Don't cut me off here before we get to debate. I don't think you know what you're talking about.
Well, you're coming from an area where we're never going to agree on, so.
Yeah, because first of all, we have to go down through and define all the different words that we're going to use through there. But we came through the evolutionary process and came through a common ancestor with the apes. We can go through genetics and everything else and show that there are like 97% of our genes are right there. So the scientific evidence is so overwhelming for the evolutionary process that if you're going to sit there and say we descended from apes, You're wrong. We
You
didn't.
can't prove by true science that we descended from an ape.
You're right. We're not coming from apes. We're coming from a common ancestor.
Well, why do you keep saying that?
We're
Again,
repeating
this
what
is
you said.
a technicality of vocabulary here.
Let me put you back on hold. Give us a number, and we'll set up some. We'd love to debate with you, and we'll put it on tape on a different show or
It's
whatever.
not going to be in private. It has to be public.
Okay. Let me put you on hold and give our call screener a number or something, and we can contact you.
Okay.
Oh, let me say our voicemail number here is 371-2911. And I should have told that gentleman too that if anybody wants to debate us or whatever, or wants to get more information about the group or anything else, it's 371-2911. Our next caller was.
We're all on the same page on that.
Hang on for a second. Let's talk about.
Well,
Well, go ahead. Line 2. Hello.
Good morning. We lost him. Nobody's there on 2. Oh, shoot. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. It's one of those mornings.
Call back.
The caller on line 2, I'm sorry. I accidentally hit the wrong button there. What was his name? Her name?
Lance.
Lance. Lance, I'm really, I do apologize that. If you'll call back in, we'll get you right back on. Okay, you had a comment?
Well, I just wanted to say we have a newsletter, and you can get a free copy of it. If you call our voicemail at our voicemail number
371-2911.
Yes, and leave your name and address, we will mail you a free copy. Although it's very difficult to see, it's very good to read. Here we go. Look at that, beautiful. And you can learn all about the atheist community of Austin by getting one of these newsletters, and we surely welcome that.
Here we go. Lance?
Yeah, I just wanted to, rebut the last caller.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'm not necessarily atheist. I'm more along the pagan lines. However, about these, all these morals legislated by God, it's all fear-based. So if y'all go out and do something, it's more from the heart than out of a fear. Some kind of supreme being striking down upon you for, doing whatever. So anything that you do good, it seems to me, has more sincere intent. So I don't know why they're, pointing the finger at you. It's like. From the atheists that I know, they don't really judge. They just kind of go along. You have your own little system of the way you do things. However, you don't. Nothing's really fear-based, and that's one thing I find really negative about Christianity and all these kind of fear-based religions. Is they pitch everything you do against whether you're going to go to hell or whatnot, and so you just have a bunch of blind people falling around in a book that they probably haven't even read.
Or get like some. I'm not going to say all Catholics, but some Catholics. They can go out there and sin during the week, then go in there and do confession and think,
I used to be one.
Like raising their children and beating their wives and alcoholics during the week.
Right, and then come in there and confess it all on Sunday, all their sins on Sunday, and think they're going to go to heaven.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's really confusing sometimes. We do appreciate you calling and your comments there.
Hey, no problem. I have one last question. This may be out of the scope of today's program.
Not a problem.
However, I was just curious, what do y'all believe happens when you die? Do you just disseminate and become just particles of energy, or does the spirit exist after death, or do you even really believe in a spirit?
Well, we don't believe in a spirit or any afterlife or anything else like that. And unfortunately, your time here is your time here.
Well, it's not such a bad thing. I wouldn't want to live forever, first of all, but here on Earth, I think we can make a heaven for ourselves right here, so to speak.
Right.
And live with that. But a hell as well, we can do that, and we can choose not to also. But we don't need that fear threat later on after our lives are over, because there's nothing there. First of all.
And plus,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And plus, we make the most use of the time that we realize, that those 70, 80 years that, your average lifespan is such a short time that we're going to make the most of what we got while we're here.
Okay, well, cool.
I kind of feel that the same thing happens to me when I die as happens to my dog when he dies. And if my dog starts believing in a supreme being, then I'll start believing in a supreme being.
They got you there.
Good, okay.
All right, well, thanks a lot.
You take care now.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, let's get the buttons right. Here we have Jack.
John.
Oh.
My name's John. I was just curious.
Can you turn your TV down, please?
Oh, I see what's going on.
Hello, can you turn your TV down?
Yeah, I can see it.
We're still getting feedback from that. We got 2 lines going. Hang on.
Hello.
Hello.
No, release.
Okay.
Thank you.
You there? I don't know how that happened.
We're doing well now. They did that in the other room.
Oh.
How you doing?
All right, am I on?
Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm curious to see how you guys receive the cosmological, astrological, and teleological arguments for God. and I'll just call it, hang up and listen.
No, repeat the question. I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Okay, I was just curious to see how y'all explain and refute the cosmological, ontological, and teleological arguments.
Well, why don't you give us one of those arguments specifically that we can start out with?
I know them. I don't exactly know the order, and I didn't bring my rebuts. But if you could go and expand on each one individually, we'll be glad to talk about it.
Well, that's what I was asking you guys to do, and if you can't do that, then...
Well, we're not philosophers.
I can give you the arguments themselves, but I can't match them up with the words.
Then you claim to be atheist. You're not atheist. You're just ignorant.
Well, okay.
Can you talk about your argument then?
No, wait a minute. Sorry to make you repeat it one more time. Repeat it slowly, and we'll give me and I'll explain why we can't answer your question there.
There's okay.
Yeah. I don't.
I know
try
them. I just don't remember exactly which word goes with which argument. But here goes. There's one that starts off that everything had to be created, design, and of course we have to ask the question: who designed God? The first claim in that argument is that everything has to have a creator, and therefore God has to exist. But that'll be the cosmological argument. Thank you very much, Don. We do know our stuff in that area. Another argument was that look at the world, how beautiful it is, and the universe itself, how everything magically comes together and works just perfectly, right? Of course, magically and perfectly cannot really be applied to things like Ebola virus or the Black Plague or the Inquisition. So that one doesn't work too well. I don't know which one that might be, but... and there's a third one, and let's go over them. You remember what the third one might be?
I think one of the words you stuck in there was theological, and we didn't...
Teleological. Ontological, cosmological, and the teleological.
The whole point is, when we try to quote, debate, argue, whatever words you want to use with anybody about religion or anything else, we first have to define what words you're talking about. Your cosmological debate, you're using that word, your meaning would be totally different than what we might be thinking you're talking about. And that's all I was trying to get the caller to do, was explain his question. Mm-hmm. You can sit, ask us our point of view on anything, and we'll give you an honest answer on anything you want. I don't appreciate caller call me ignorant just because I won't answer his question. And all I wanted him to do was to clarify his question.
Well, and each of his arguments consisted of one word.
Right.
So,
and you throw one word out there with no without telling us what your definition of that word is, or you're unwilling to tell us what that definition is.
I tell you what, I've got it. I got an answer for each of them and a description of them. I'll bring them next week, and we'll talk about that.
Excellent point.
Alrighty.
And we have another caller here. Good morning.
Hello.
Joyce.
Yes, Joyce.
Yes.
I was just wanting to know what you could tell me is the purpose of your life. If you don't believe that there is a God or a hereafter or anything like that, what do you feel the reason that you're here on Earth is?
The same reason that tree's there, the same reason the air's there, whatever. It's dumb, luck of the turn of the cosmos that we ended up here even on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
If...
You mean you don't value your life any more than you do a tree or your pet dog?
Well, sure we do. That wasn't implied. I think what he's saying is that it's a stroke of luck that we actually exist, and it's taken millions of years, but it's happened. We're here. We're here because we're here. Let's move on. Let's not base our whole lives on the question where we came from and throw it all away just because we can't answer it.
Well, history says that in order to know where you're going, you have to know where you came from.
Well, I came from my parents.
Where did your parents come from?
Their parents.
I see.
I don't like this argument either.
And they are creators. Your parents are a creator.
And I'm a creator too. I have 2 kids. I created 2 human beings with the help of someone else, but that doesn't imply the need for a God at all.
Well, one of the reasons you're asking basically what thrill do we get out of living? What's the basis for our thrill?
What's the purpose of your life?
Mine is to watch my children grow up and to see them get educated and see them provide for themselves and to see them be kind to other people and to not war with other people and those kinds of things.
I see. Very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would say everybody can assign a purpose to their lives, even if they don't know exactly where they came from. For instance, orphans don't need a God in order to have a purpose in their lives because they didn't have parents. It just doesn't imply the need for a God. I've never had a reason to actually include that in any of my reasoning.
Okay, we'll try do one more caller here. Laura?
Hi.
Good morning.
Well, first of all, let me tell you that I'm on your side.
Thank you.
And on Friday, I went down to the Capitol Rotunda to watch my daughter sing with the Connolly High School Choir. And part of what they sang about was how God sent down his son to take away all of our sins. I was really mortified by it, not just that the public high school choir was singing it, but that they had the audacity to take it to the Capitol. Right. Am I wrong?
We don't think so. I think it was totally inappropriate for public school system to that just makes it seem like they're supporting the whole God idea.
And not only just the God idea, but the Christian idea.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, and if you brought that point up, they would you'd feel ostracized for being a parent to bring up the idea that you don't want them singing about God in your.
You'd be pushing your hedonism on people if you complain about that.
Right, and my daughter has even gone to the choir director and said, I don't like singing about Jesus. And the choir director said, it's just music, and we have won this in every court battle we've fought.
That's not true, actually. It's been won for the side of the Constitution on several occasions, and the Supreme Court has even said in many cases that that's just simply unconstitutional.
What is the definition of a choir, by the way?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it a?
Well, it's a school class. I mean, they sign up for the class.
Is the definition of a choir a group of people who get together and sing about a religious point of view, or is it like a barbershop?
There you go.
Yeah, see, that's where I get so offended by them singing. I mean, I love the music when it's not God focused.
Right. Well, I like choir music once in a while. I even like some gospel and some God songs. If they're done well, I can separate my religious aspect from my musical aspect out pretty good.
Yeah, I can't do that.
But in this case, what's a real drag is that children are being involved with this, and it's basically a captive audience situation, and the parents don't really have any say.
Yeah.
In a public school situation, there's supposed to be some amount of say for the parents, and you've got the PTA, organizations like that, trying to get parents involved. Well, what happens when a parent tries to get involved in this area? Immediately, they're told that there's nothing that they can do to try to make their opinions even voiced in this area. I mean, school boards will often not even listen.
Well, we appreciate your call. You got anything else you'd like to say?
No, I'm just right there in there with you.
Well, our voicemail is 371-2911, and feel free to give us a call. If you run, I don't know how much help we could do, but if you run into problems...
I think I'm going to run down to Hot Jumbo this morning.
Yes.
We'll be glad to meet you.
We were just going to say. That's 5th and Lavaca.
You take care now.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay. Another thing we're trying to do here on a regular basis here is try to showcase some of the talent we have in the group. And it turns out our sound guy, Arlo, is also a professional artist. And we'd like to bring in some of his artwork here. And
you could steal a mic.
Oh, a wide shot?
Sure.
Can we get a wide shot?
I never even thought about that. Yeah.
Can we get a wide shot on a different camera? Kellen.
Steal a mic here.
Thank you.
Kellen?
All right, here we go. And
I just wanted to show some of my stuff here.
Let's go to a different camera.
Hang on. We're working on it, folks.
Until then, can I make a comment on the confusion this morning?
You sure can.
About the anthropology. I'm not an anthropologist, but I've taken a few courses, and I want to straighten it up that, yes, we did come from apes. I think what we're trying to say here is we don't come from the apes that you see around today.
Good point.
Thank you.
We don't come from chimpanzees, but we're so similar. Obviously, we must have sprung off from the same thing. I just wanted to say that. Anyway, okay, back to the artwork.
Yes.
This is just some stuff I do. I sell at the Renaissance Market on the 23rd Street Market, and I have some various things. This is a silk screen.
Not too close.
Print right here. There, I'll turn it that way. And you got all kinds of things here. I got some pencil work. I sometimes got to display this at Austin Museum of Fine Arts.
Very nice.
Turn it right.
There you go, yes.
I really like detail, as you can see.
Wow.
Kind of techno-style things, real abstract.
So how long would it take you to make one of these?
Oh man, I don't know. I do a bunch of pictures at the same time. It takes a really long time.
Wow,
that's good.
beautiful.
This is all work I've done the past 3 years. Well, this is very little of it. I chose 10 things here.
This is one of my favorites here. Yes, I like.
Yeah, this one's my favorite. I like using this one for centerpiece.
Feelings in him to do artwork.
Oh yeah, atheists have no feelings whatsoever.
I mean, what's your purpose in life?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just
an excellent point here to show that atheists have a beauty. We don't have to have soul to appreciate this artwork.
And you pour your emotions into this, I'm sure, your art, right? I mean, this is something you can harvest your emotions and then take and put into something productive, right?
Yeah, I think it's a total myth that just because if you believe you live in a material world means you're going to act like some total robot.
Right.
Emotions is part of what makes us human.
I think you find a great deal of beauty just in nature itself if you look closely.
Oh yes.
I've always said
there,
reality.
that's cool.
Wow.
That one's done in airbrush. Airbrush is kind of new for me.
That's nice. You got a title?
I don't title any of my stuff. I just
okay.
dream up the images for the way they are.
Art in its purest form.
All of these are prints, but a lot of them are one of a kind. I blend different pictures together and things to make them all one of a kind.
There you go.
This one's at Austin Museum of Fine Arts.
Really?
As well.
In the Austin Museum of Fine Arts, this was displayed?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, that's great. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and so if anyone wants to check out any more of my stuff, you can find it on the Renaissance Market on Guadalupe. It's an outdoor market.
Right.
And there's a lot of other artists there, too.
Yeah, that is not just atheist artists or whatever. Artists from all over the county really come down there, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's Arlo Pignoti.
And other crafts and everything else.
Beautiful.
Well,
all right.
Like I said.
Thanks. That was some atheist talent.
Thank you.
Just let you guys let Austin meet some of our group here. And we have musicians and we have artists. Thank you, Arlo.
All right.
You do a fine job there in the sound booth there.
Yes, our sound man.
Okay. Now we'll take some more of our calls here. Shane? Raytheist, yes.
Hey.
What's up, man?
Oh, not much. Are you a fan of KLBJ?
Oh, big fan. Hey, I got a question for you.
Sure.
I've been flipping. I didn't even know about this till I heard you talking on KLBJ and stuff. But,
Thank you.
I was listening to this lady a while ago, and it seems to me that to each their own. If they want to believe in God, that's their decision. I mean, I believe in God. I'm a God-fearing man, and I don't want anybody putting me down for that, as well as I wouldn't want anybody putting you down for not believing in God.
Excellent point.
Do you think in your mind that it's wrong for somebody to preach to somebody else about God?
I do.
Simple yes or no.
Define preach, though.
Okay, then why aren't you on television basically telling people to not believe in God?
No, that's not what I'm doing.
I mean, you're
Go ahead.
A preacher preaches his views.
Right.
You're preaching your views of atheism.
We have a specific purpose here.
Yes. Yes. You have a small point there, but we're not preaching. What we're here to do is try to put a good atheist through the history has always had a bad name associated with it here, and we're trying to show that we're intelligent, useful citizens here. We want to contribute to the society here. We want to make this a better place and everything else. So we're not here coming out here telling you not to believe in God or anything else. We're telling you the Bible's not a defined instrument. We discuss the history of the Bible, how it came about. Try to show you it's a man-made instrument. All the different. There's like last Easter when Easter just passed.
What is a man-made? God created man in His own image.
No, let's not go there.
No, wait a minute. What was it?
We were talking about our show.
I just made a point.
Okay, what was that?
I said something from the Bible, and you said, let's don't go there.
We're on one subject at a time.
Because we don't feel that God created man. Man created God.
That's your. That's your.
Can I?
Right.
We have the question you just asked about why we're here.
Sure.
I wanted to make sure we got that clear. We're here for, in my opinion, two basic reasons. Number one, to reach out to atheists who feel they might be alone in the world. It's one of my goals in life because for many years I was one and I had no one to turn to. And it really hurt me a lot that I didn't have anybody. I didn't even know what I was, an atheist. I didn't know what that meant for years. And I happen to know for a fact that there are millions of Americans who don't exactly know what that means, but are actually, by definition, an atheist. And a lot of them are having a whole lot of problems right now because of religious coercion and persecution and discrimination. I experienced it myself, and I would like to help other atheists get out of that. I think the other reason is to help educate the public on what atheists really are. There's a whole lot of misconceptions out there, and we're here to show that we're not Satanists or baby eaters, and we're actually trying to do some good for the community.
And we're not telling these people that they're going to go to hell if they don't believe in us. We're not telling you have to believe what we're saying. We're out there showing the mistakes, the problems with religion, and the good things that atheists are doing for the community is what we're trying to do. And if you feel like we're preaching to you, I apologize.
Well, no, maybe I just came across the wrong way. I don't
okay.
How do you?
Go ahead.
When you were a kid, did your parents have a religion?
Yes, I was baptized in the Methodist Church.
How'd you become an atheist? I mean, did you just one day wake up and go, huh?
No, I was pretty much forced to go to church growing up and everything else, and then I was always taught, that the Bible was this great divine instrument. And then once I started getting into junior high school, I started researching the history of the Bible and just kind of find out, hey, they're lying to me about that. What else? And then once you start doing the research on the Bible and finding all the contradictions that are in the Bible, then you find out, what a total mistake. It's hearsay on top of hearsay on top of hearsay that's been translated from 4 or 5 different. And every time it's been translated, it's been edited by a group of people and everything else.
That's right.
But like just the major contradictions in the Bible, they're all through there. So do you consider yourself a religious person?
I believe in God. I mean, I believe that, when I'm in trouble, when I'm praying to somebody to get me out of it.
But
for a lot of people, I know that I was raised by my grandparents, and they never went to church or anything like that. They said God-fearing people, and they didn't cuss or anything like that. And I think for a lot of people it's just a way to make themselves feel better about somebody else, that knowing that believing in the Bible, believing in God, if somebody passes away, that having a feeling that they're going to a better place, instead of not going anywhere. I want to believe that I'm going somewhere. I don't want to believe I'm just going to sit somewhere and rot.
The main difference in the atheist approach to life is that we don't have a penalty phase of if you don't believe as we do, or you don't go along with the atheist point of view, there is no penalty. Where in religion is if you don't go along with that particular point of view, generally there is a penalty for that.
In the Bible, there's the 10 Commandments, right?
Pardon me?
In the Bible, there's the 10 Commandments.
Well, that's one of the fallacies too. There is no spot in the Bible where you have, quote, 10 Commandments.
Okay.
There are several.
Can you go out and kill somebody, and if you didn't get caught, would you feel good about it?
No.
Okay. Do you believe in stealing?
No.
Do you believe in adultery?
Sometimes.
Where is this going? I mean, we have ethics. We've already talked about that.
I just want to know that,
Ethics are not original to Christianity or any other religion.
I see you about to cut me off. Rate this. See you later, brother.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Wow.
I'm flattered, yes. Well, I want to do a couple of quick personal announcements here. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
good friend of mine, happy birthday, Todd. Hi to Sandy and Brad, good friends of mine, and you want to say hi to someone?
Hello, Jennifer. It's nice to see you again.
Yes. And now we'll go to our Unsung Atheist Hero of the Week here. And then I see all the lights, but we will get to the callers here. Hang in there, callers.
Okay, every week I have a segment called Unsung Atheist Hero or Heroine of the Week. And my pick is Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She lived from 1815 to 1902. She was always far ahead of the women seeking rights in the 19th century. When she proposed that women should seek the vote in 1848, the other women were shocked, for they had only sought property rights. A few years later, she boldly proposed new rights for divorce and mother's interest in her own children. Once again, she shocked the other ladies, but convinced them. She dared to defend Lucretia Mott, a Hicksite Quaker, and Ernestine Rose, an atheist, when the other women said they were too unorthodox to appear in the high ranks of the women's movement. Busy much of the time with her family, Elizabeth nonetheless wrote columns and speeches and traveled and spoke as much as possible, fighting for women's rights. She was president of the National Women's Suffrage Association from 1865 to 1893. She co-authored with Matilda Joslyn Gage and Susan B. Anthony The History of Women's Suffrage. What are you doing?
Look up.
I'm trying. I need a teleprompter is what it is. She was for free thought, becoming a member of the American Secular Union.
Thank you.
Writing free thought articles, which non-free thought editors frequently refuse to publish. Was co-editor of Revolution, corresponding editor of the National Citizen and Ballot Box, and co-wrote and was the driving force behind the Woman's Bible. With the publication of the Woman's Bible, Elizabeth finally went further than the majority of the women in the NWSA were willing to go in denouncing religion. Despite Susan B. Anthony's eloquent plea for tolerance, a vote censuring the book was passed by the NWSA. Society has yet to catch up with this forward-looking woman. And we have a quote here also. This is Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Quote, "The Bible and church have been the greatest stumbling blocks in the way of women's emancipation." That's Elizabeth Cady Stanton, my pick for Atheist Heroine of the Week.
Excellent quote there.
Thank you.
I was saying earlier how much the Bible has done to put women down and make them feel like second-class citizens and everything else.
And atheists, too.
Yes. So we have a bunch of callers. Let's try to get as many as we can here. Gene?
Good morning, ATA. This is Mark.
Mark?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll take. I must have hit the wrong line. But welcome to the.
Thank you very much. I prefer to put my faith in the predictions of science.
Yes.
Because I don't know of any general way of making predictions that has been as successful as the methods of science.
Very good.
Good point.
I'd like to ask you what ACA's stance on school choice is.
We have a wide variety of opinions in the group here. I'd love to see education be privatized. I think government should be out of education. Where a lot of people in the group feel, that's our greatest asset to America was our free education, our public education. So, I'm a libertarian. The less government, the better is where I come from.
I disagree.
See,
I mean, I'm not a libertarian or anything. I don't really even go with the party, but I like our public school system, and I really feel that a whole lot of money is being drained out of it to go to private schools, and many of which are religious schools. It's great if somebody wants to go to private schools, send their kids there. They should have that right and the choice to do that. I think public and private can exist together, but still a whole lot of money is being drained out of public school systems to fund private schools, which are in essence businesses. And public schools are suffering. I think one of the biggest reasons why test scores are down and there's crime in public schools is because we funneled a whole lot of money out of the public school system when we really need to be doing the opposite at this point in time because our growing population. And science also is really getting the boot in a lot of private schools. Myself, I went to a Catholic private school, and science was taught, but not as it should have been, and I was unprepared when I went on to a public high school afterwards and immediately began to do badly in science. It also showed me really clearly how wrong religion is. For instance, in one class they'd have religion. I'd have an hour of religion class, and the next one would be science. And they didn't jive too well with me. I mean, at 7th grade they started physical science, and I was already able to put together that the Earth could not be millions of years old and 4,000 years old, or 6,000, at the same time. So that's just one example.
I believe that one can, with a couple of progressive provisions, one can generate in Texas a couple of billion extra dollars per year for education and do it in a way that school districts save on the order of $1 billion or so that would benefit children who remain in public school.
Right.
Well, I kind of feel that science is going to bring technology into the classroom and into the public classroom in such a way that I think it will enhance the learning capabilities of children in the future. I think one of the greatest ideas in the world was free public education, and the second greatest idea in the world, I think, was the internet and the technology that's bringing it to everybody in every classroom. So I think the future looks bright for education in America.
All right, caller, I do have a quickly, unless you got another point.
Just something else?
No, thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Do appreciate your call.
Thank you.
All right, we're going down to Barry. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning. I just wanted to make a couple comments. Maybe
Sure.
Ask you a question. I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I've always been an atheist for most of my life anyway. And I guess I just wanted to say that what really puzzles me is the Christians and the other religious peoples who believe in the Bible. And anyway, I think the Bible is a very beautiful document, and it certainly gives us some rules to live our lives. But it falls short in all the fantasy type of places where, water was parted and people came back to life, and people, virgin births, and
exactly
all kind of things. God was talking to him, and God inspired him. And, but other than that, I think it's a nice document. And I just have a hard time understanding how people could possibly believe in the fairy tales and the fantasies when they've never had any direct proof that these things happen.
Exactly.
The other thing I wanted to ask you
Sure.
or make a point about was that I really enjoy watching religious debate, but you usually only see one side of it.
Yeah.
You see this side, and you see in defense of the faith, and you see Cliff Connectley on TV.
Yes.
Yes.
And I really enjoy listening to Cliff because he's got a tremendously great answer for everything. But what I'd really like to see is a debate between very knowledgeable people on both sides. I mean, I can't be convinced or changed, but I mean, I'd just like to see it. It's very entertaining.
Well, we'll put that down as an idea for a show. We have people in the group that are a lot more intelligent than I am, and that would we might be able to set something up like that.
Well, we have a lecture series
like
once a month for that too.
Get somebody like Cliff's caliber, or those guys in defense of the faith that give the scientific reasons why God exists or something.
That would be an interesting show.
Okay.
I appreciate your comments.
All right.
Oh, you have a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Religious Freedom Amendment for a few minutes before we end our show. It's coming up for a vote in the House, I believe, at this time, and very soon, and it's important that all non-Christians be very concerned about this. It's kind of a sham, for lack of a better word. We don't have a copy of it here right now, but this is something that atheists need to be very aware of, and it's an important thing.
Calling right representatives.
Well, we can't say that. Okay. But thanks, the RFA. Anyway, let's go.
Let them know whatever your opinion is. Let your representative know whatever, if you're for it or against it. That's what they're in there for. They're here representing us. And okay, here we go. On down to Ruth.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. I enjoy your program.
Well, thank you.
I listen to it every Sunday.
I appreciate that.
I wanted to make a remark about your answer to the lady who said, "Why are we here?"
Sure.
And you said, well, the reason that we're here for the same reason that trees and dogs and so forth are here.
Right.
And when she said, you mean you don't value your life any more than a tree or a dog with such disgust, I think she put her finger on one of your values.
Mm-hmm.
If we value, she has a way of valuing our life more than the tree and the dog and so on. They're all categorized.
Right.
Because she probably read that someplace.
Right.
And if we valued life, our life, on the same par as any other life, I think our environment would not be in the condition that it's in.
Excellent point.
Of course, if it becomes between me and a tree, I'm going to try to provide for my life more than I am for the tree's life.
Yeah.
But it's not to that point now. We can treat other creatures as well as we treat ourselves with respect.
This general value of life, I think, is very, very important.
Well, it all fits together.
But you brought up an excellent point there. Well, my mind went to an excellent point. The earth was not put here for man's to plunder and use and throw away. We are part of this whole entire system, and we need to learn to work with inside. And the religious point of view is that we're better than the system. That we have a special place here, and everything else is here to serve us. Yeah. And I totally disagree with that.
I think that derives out of extreme arrogance.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I just wanted to bring that up.
Well, thank you. Oh, shoot.
Did it again.
I'm having a heck of a time with the buttons here. Alex, I cut you off, Alex. I apologize, Alex. Please call back, and we will get you on there. Oh, Brian.
Yes.
Good morning.
What is your name in the middle? I'm sorry.
Ray.
Ray.
Yes.
I just wondered what are your views on homosexuality?
It's what
pretty non-judgmental about that, being an atheist.
Yeah, we're open-minded about it. Your own personal life choices are yours. We're not here to judge you or make judgment calls on your personal life. Yeah, and from what I understand, it's a natural part. Every animal population has a small segment that ends up.
Right.
They've shown it in science and everything else.
Right.
So it.
But you don't look at it as like an aberration, like a lot of religions do.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. And we do have homosexuals in the group.
Well, we're not bothered by it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I was just curious. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Can we talk about the website?
Sure. We do have an excellent web page. Kellen Von Hauser does an excellent job of that. And the address is?
The address is www.atheist-community.org. And our voicemail?
371-2911. We love hearing from everyone there in Austin. And we'll go on down to Alex. I apologize, Alex.
Alex Jones, please. Alex Jones.
Is that Alex Jones?
Jones, please.
No, that ain't Alex Jones. Thank you, though.
Alex Jones is on quite a bit. If you don't get enough of Alex Jones, it's not our problem.
He's a nice guy, though.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arlo. Good commentary.
There goes Alex now.
Don't get us wrong. We
Alex
like Alex
is in the bathroom.
He's a good guy.
No, we was flushing that collar down the drain there. So.
We have fun.
It's not ready. We do. Go ahead.
We have a newsletter. Once again, you can call our voicemail. You can get a free copy of our newsletter. Check it out. We'll mail it to you. Just call our voicemail, leave your name and address, and we will mail it to you. And it's something good to read. You can learn all about us. We have a calendar of events in here also.
Yeah. Well, I was going to mention our lecture series next Sunday live. We'll be at Furs, North Cross Mall. We've got
about 11 a.m.
Roland went wider. Look, we have excellent time there. It's question and answers afterwards. So we get a lot of open discussion there. And it's we welcome all the new faces here. Let's go on down to Todd. Is that Ted?
How, I think.
Okay, go for it.
Good morning, caller.
Yeah, this is Toe. I was just channel surfing. I told your screener I'm new to Austin, 9 days fresh.
Welcome to Austin.
Hello.
I was finding your program extremely refreshing. I was just channel surfing this morning, trying to counter all the other crap all on the radio, on the television.
Right. Thank you.
You're gonna have you have breakfast meetings, I understand.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Where's it located at?
Hot Jumbo Bakery.
Okay.
On 5th and Lavaca.
Okay.
Once the show's done here, we're heading right down there.
Okay.
Like I said, it's open to the public. We always like meeting our new faces there, and we will definitely welcome you to Austin.
Okay, great. Yeah, let me leave something for any closet Christians that may be listening.
All right.
I did a dissertation in Tulane University, like about 15 years ago. It was for my students. It was a challenge for them to see if there was, give me their opinions about the inferiority or superiority of man.
Right.
And it was just a free-for-all. It was just going to be, if they were free thinkers, I was going to be able to tell by their dissertation.
Right.
The best way that I came across was one student who was, I think, 16, 17 at the time, and he said, man is not superior to the rest of the beings. If we were, we could understand what the dolphins were saying, what the whales were saying. And I said, it's very profound.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and then the other angle he approached was the fact that within the species of Homo sapien, we are not inferior or superior to one another, because you take an Eskimo out of his environment, put him in humid New Orleans, and he will nearly perish.
Right.
Do the opposite to the New Orleanian and take him to Alaska, and he will nearly perish. So again, it kind of disqualifies the chauvinism, the homo chauvinism we have about ourselves, that we are totally inferior and superior towards one another, which we're not. Put us, in the same boat in different situations, and we'll see what happens. And again, very refreshing, and keep up the great work, man.
Thanks.
You take care now. We're running out of time here, but let's go quickly to Stephen. Good morning, caller.
Hey, how you doing today?
Excellent.
Hey, I was just wondering, I was surfing through and was wondering, what is the point of a atheist community, another organization trying to prove or disprove something or promote something? What are y'all trying to show?
We're a nonprofit social nonprofit educational group. We are. We have our own library and everything else of educational material and everything else. But so the social part would actually be the secondary thing to it. But we're just trying to put a good face to atheists. that people have such a bad condensation, a bad thoughts when it comes to the word atheist that we want, and growing up we had no place to turn, and the theocratic right is so well organized that a lot of people go for the social event and not really believe in God that much, but they need the support and of their friends, and the social gathering and everything else, and we want to give them, the atheists, that same thing.
Well, do you consider yourself non-spiritual in any fashion, or
I'm
against the belief of God and organized religion, that sort of stuff?
My own personal thing is, there's no supernatural. So what you define as spiritual, if it goes into my definition of supernatural, then you're right, I'm not a spiritual person.
Well, supernatural in terms of like angels and demons.
Exactly, I don't believe in any of that.
Occurrences, or just energy, or
Well, basically, I consider myself just to be human. I like a good laugh, a good sense of humor, good neighbors, good friends, good family.
Yeah.
I don't think a man can really ask for much more than that.
So basically, you guys are just trying to get out from underneath this sort of discrimination that you felt
Yeah, we want to
by the religious right and that sort of thing,
and provide a community for people like us to come to that is comfortable for them to come to on Sunday mornings, particularly.
Well, more power to you. Have fun. Enjoy.
Thanks. Take care. Okay, we're going quickly. We're running out of time here, and this is Kay.
Hi. This is the first time I've seen your program, and I'm really enjoying it.
Thank you.
And I was just calling about the guy who called earlier and asked if he thought preaching was wrong.
Right.
Personally, I don't think it's wrong because actually I've just become atheist over the past few months. And the reason I have become atheist is because somebody was preaching at me constantly, and I had believed in everything the Bible had said before this person was preaching to me, because then I analyzed it even further.
Right.
And I questioned it. And so, as far as people preaching to other people, they need to be careful, because instead of, keeping people on their side, they're liable to turn them the other way.
Yeah, excellent point.
I want to say that if it has to be preached, it may not be true. You can always tell that, first of all, because reality and the truth are going to be there whether you preach or not. And that's one reason why scientists are not overtly trying to challenge religionists the way religionists are, like with creation and evolution, is that scientists aren't emotionally charged, being that reality isn't going to change due to the argument. The truth will be there and doesn't need to be preached.
All right.
Okay. I do appreciate your call. Please call again.
All right. Bye-bye.
We'll be on live next week, 9 a.m. We're here every week, Sunday, Channel 16, and we got one last caller. Dustin.
Hey, this is Dustin. I called y'all last week.
All right.
Fantastic.
Quickly, please.
All right. I had a question for you.
Sure.
Quick. So many things that prove you believe in science that predated science that prove everything is wrong, and carbon copies and stuff like that. What I want to know is there anything that proves, because you know how there's all these documents that prove the Bible, and all these people who for so many years have said, yeah, the Bible is here. Why isn't there any people who say that it's not there? Is there any documents that say that, like atheists from 10,000 years ago, or in the biblical times?
Where you got that phrase, I'm going to have to cut you off because we're running out of time, but we'll try and answer it quickly. Take care.
All right.
I didn't really 100% understand his question, but there's a lot of documentation proving the falsehood of that Jesus was not born December 25th. He was not born the year 0. They can't even prove that Jesus was a real person, let alone that they can't prove when he was born. They can't prove where he was born, if he lived, or anything else. So that's just the quick thing right off the top of my head here. How about the things that are wrong with the Bible?
There were atheists long before Jesus, though. Epicurus is one of the first ones.
And there'll be atheists long after Jesus is gone.
Thanks, Austin.
Had a great morning here. Had a bunch of great callers there. We love Austin. We love hearing from you.
Going to the bagel shop now.
We'll be here next week, 9 a.m., Channel 16.
Crash around for that.
Got a little head banging there.
Atheist Community of Austin.